Welcome back to another episode of A Better Way of Earning podcast, where work, life, and money get real. I am your host, Dr. Michelle S. Thomas, and today we're continuing our journey of building not only successful careers, but successful lives. This conversation is one I wish someone had shared with me much earlier in my career. For many years, I believed every financial problem could be solved with one thing: a bigger paycheck. I thought if I could just earn a little bit more, work a little bit harder, or get promoted, everything would eventually work itself out. But over time, I realized something very important. Money does not solve financial problems by itself. Financial wisdom does. A larger paycheck can create opportunities, but without healthy financial habits, clear priorities, and a long term perspective, more income often turns into larger expenses. So today, we're going to move beyond the paycheck and look at money differently, not just as income, but as a tool for building freedom, stability, and choice. Because true wealth is not measured only by what you earn, it is measured by the choices your money allows you to make. And before we talk about practical money decisions, we have to start with the belief system that many of us inherited about success and income. The public playbook often tells us success is measured by how much money you make. And because of that, many people spend years chasing larger salaries while neglecting the habits that actually build financial freedom. That belief is powerful because it sounds logical. If money is the problem, then more money must be the solution. But if we've ever examined the habits, pressures, and assumptions that shape how we use money, a bigger paycheck can simply give us more room to repeat the same patterns. This brings us to our first success blocker that often keeps people financially dependent even when their income increases: lifestyle inflation. My income increased, so my spending should too. How about scarcity thinking? I'll save or invest when I make more money. The dreaded comparison trap. I'm trying to keep up with everyone else. Or the short term gratification success blocker. I deserve this now. These blockers do not always appear as major financial mistakes. Many times, they show up as small, repeated decisions that feel reasonable at the moment, but quietly limit our future options. So, before we talk about wealth, we need to step back and ask a more basic question: what is money actually supposed to do for us? So, let me ask you this: when you think about money, what is its purpose? Most people answer with practical things: to buy what we need, pay our bills, survive. And yes, my friends, money does those things, but money also can create choices, flexibility, security, opportunities, and peace. Money itself is not freedom, but when it's managed with purpose, it can give you more freedom to make decisions that better align with your values. That is why purpose matters. If money does not have a direction, it is easy for it to disappear into whatever feels urgent, convenient, or appealing at the moment. So let's make this practical. One way to create that direction is to give every dollar a job before life gives a direction for you. Here's a simple way to think about it: every dollar should have an assignment. I call this the 4 jobs of money. Job number 1, live. Cover today's responsibilities, including bills, food, transportation, and everyday needs. Job number 2, protect. Prepare for the unexpected through emergency savings, insurance, and financial safeguards. Job number 3, growth. Build the future through investing, retirement planning, business ownership, and assets. And then job number 4 is to give. Support people, causes, and legacy building efforts that reflect, again, your values. When every dollar has a purpose, money begins working for you instead of disappearing from you. And once money has its purpose, the next step is to understand the difference between looking financially successful and actually becoming financially secure. Let's talk about the difference between rich and wealthy. Some people appear rich, while others quietly become wealthy. Rich is often visible and flashy. Wealth is often invisible and quiet. Many wealthy people are not spending money to impress you, me, or strangers. They're using their money to create options, reduce pressure, and invest in opportunities that continue to create value over time. That is the distinction I want us to sit with for a moment because it changes the way we evaluate our financial decisions. If the goal is to only appear successful, we may spend in ways that look impressive but leave us with less peace. But if the goal is to become free, we begin asking better questions before we spend. Let's talk about a financial freedom question. Before making a purchase, I want you to pause and ask yourself, will this increase my lifestyle or will it improve my life? There is a huge difference, my friends. Lifestyle may look good for a moment. Life improvement creates peace, stability, opportunity, or long term value. And once you begin to ask that question consistently, you start seeing how closely your financial life is connected to the values that you are building within your career. So, how does career capital create financial capital? This is where today's conversation connects with the previous episodes. We've talked about career capital as the skills, relationships, reputation, and experience and credibility you build over time. In this episode, I want you to see how career capital can also become financial capital. Money grows when value grows. People who continue to develop their skills, leadership, communication, problem solving, relationships, and reputation often create greater financial opportunities over time. So do not only chase money, build value. When your value grows, your opportunities often grow with it. And when your opportunities grow, your earning potential, choices, and long term financial stability can grow too. This brings us to a simple question that helps connect professional growth to financial responsibility. It's called the value equation. Skills plus relationships plus reputation plus consistency equals greater opportunities. Greater opportunities equals greater earning potential. That is why your professional growth matters. Every skill you build, every relationship you nurture, every promise you keep, and every standard of excellence you maintain can become a part of your financial future. But here's the key: financial success should still be guided by your own personal definition of wealth and not someone else's. So, how do you define wealth? I want you to ask yourself a personal question. What does wealth actually mean to you? Is it more money, more time, peace, family, purpose, health, freedom? Your answer should guide your financial decisions, not social media, not comparison, and definitely not trends. Because if you never define wealth for yourself, you may spend years chasing a version of success that looks good from the outside, but actually does not fit your life or your future planning. Wealth is the ability to make choices that align with your values. That definition brings us to the heart of this episode. Money beyond the paycheck is not just about having more, it's about using what you have and what you're building to create a life with more alignment, more peace, and more possibility. And because this kind of growth is easier when we're not doing it alone, before I wrap up today's episode, I want to personally invite you to become a part of our brand new A Better Way of Earning community. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is that growth happens faster when you're surrounded by people who are committed to learning, encouraging one another, and having honest conversations. Our community is where we continue the discussion beyond the podcast. Inside of our community, you can share your biggest takeaways from each episode, ask questions, connect with professionals from different industries, celebrate your wins, both big and small, and access exclusive insights, resources, and behind the scenes content. But most importantly, my friend, it is a place where people are committed to help one another grow. If today's conversation challenged your thinking, I'd love to hear from you. Join us, introduce yourself, and let us know. You'll find the link to join our community, which is absolutely free, in the description of this podcast episode. I hope to see you inside the community. If there is one thing I hope you remember from today's conversation, it is this. A paycheck is very important. I am not dismissing that or belittling that at all. Your paycheck is important, but it should never become the destination. Your paycheck should support your life. It definitely should not define your life. So continue building your career capital. Continue investing in your growth. Continue making financial decisions that your future self will thank you for. Because real wealth is not built in one paycheck, it's built in one intentional decision at a time. And that's the mindset I want you to take with you. Not pressure, not comparison, but intentionality. Before we go, let's bring this whole conversation together. The public playbook may tell you that success is measured by your paycheck. Your success blockers may convince you to compare your journey to someone else. But lasting success is built by making intentional decisions that align with your values, your purpose, and your future. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep building a life that reflects your definition of success. Thank you again, my friends, for joining me for A Better Way of Earning, because success isn't about chasing more money for the sake of more money. It's about creating more possibilities, more peace, more alignment with the life you were called to build. A Better Way of Earning podcast is where work, life, and money come together, helping you to build success on your own terms. I'll see you in the next episode.